Hey guys, it's me, Jan, CEO of Acquire.Fi. I have a special guest today with me, Andrew from Magnus Capital. He's a professional trader, and we're gonna be looking at graphs today. Andrew, how are you?
Good. How's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
All good here. So, what are the charts saying?
It's a little mixed bag, you know. It's obviously we had a pretty massive sell-off the last couple of weeks, so I think we're just kind of continuing the price action of that. Based on like a lot of seasonality studies that I follow, June is typically a very rough month. You usually get a lot of like sideways action, and I don't really see like a pivot bottom coming in until like closer to like end of June, going into July. If you can see this chart that I have open, this is the technology sector seasonality chart in pretty much the last like 30 years. And you can see like we're pretty much like near the end of June here, and you can see like the markets typically get a little bit of a sell-off, and then that initiates pretty much a pretty long run for the summer, going into late summer as well. This also coincides with like the S&P. June, if you look here, it's pretty soft. You get a pretty big sell-off coming into the end. And then, going into July and late summer is usually where the action seems to be. So
Well,
based on these, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, what do you think of Nvidia? Pumping like
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, they overpassed like Microsoft recently in market cap,
Yeah.
which is pretty impressive. I don't think anyone really thought about like seeing that happening. So we can try to pull up the stock on Nvidia, see what Nvidia is looking like.
No, I think it's just interesting that we are supposed to having a little
Straight
bear
up.
market in SP 500 and technology stocks, but Nvidia keep pumping.
Yeah, honestly, this is probably the only reason why like the market's kind of being propped up, like like Nasdaq and stuff. It's mainly because like this tech company is just screaming higher. Um, I don't really have any like trade signals here. Obviously, this is just kind of like a runaway market right now. But you do got some bear divs, overbought conditions showing up. So
Do you
I
think?
wouldn't want to here, but yeah.
Do you think this could affect the AI, crypto AI sector at all?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I noticed that anytime Nvidia like pumps and stuff, the AI names typically have a little bit of a rally. So I actually did put on a bet on a couple like AI names yesterday, based on this, but market's still a little bit soft right now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel you. I've been betting on Dow lately. It's definitely been underperforming, but not
Yeah.
gonna be putting any more money on that. But yeah, what can you tell me on BTC at the moment? If you tuned
Okay.
in a little bit more.
Yeah. So I like to trade on daily charts. This is just a chart that I have open that I've been kind of charting for the last few weeks. Last week, obviously, we had a pretty big sell-off from the last couple of weeks, actually. We had this like little double top here that came in. Those are generally like structures and price patterns that we like to trade off of. They're nice to use because you can risk your frame of like a risk off them as well as like your profit targets. Generally, we try to do like a 2-to-1 risk reward. So this is just kind of a short position that we kind of have on right now. We're
You
risking
want to
to
zoom
the
in?
zoom in. Yeah, sorry if it's a little bit kind of weird, but
There we
essentially, like if you see this like M pattern here, right? Pretty much on the break of that was the signal to short. Generally, you want to like set your stop loss to like the high of that the M top, but we're gonna risk it to the all-time highs, and then we just do a simple 2-to-1 risk reward. That would bring us all the way down here. Not saying that price will come down here. You never know what happens. So just kind of monitoring this position right now. The reason why it's also a pretty good area to short here is because we've essentially what we're doing is we're measuring the range from this high to this low. And what we're saying is that when price comes back to a certain level, generally we like to call this the short reload zone when it's in between the 61.8 and 78.6. Those are typically good areas to either short or long based on which way you're looking at on the fibs. This is typically where a lot of algorithms will start to come back online as well and start to be very active. And this is considered like quite a bit of a resistance zone, right? So we're coming back, testing against these old highs. Clearly, market could not break through. We kind of we tried a W out here, which I thought was going to be our breakout, but we ended up just kind of flopping. This was actually on the CPI day. So, we had the CPI, we had a very bullish reading. Market was like, oh, nice, let's go. And then initially the FOMC was kind of soft. So market just kind of continued to sell off. And then also you had momentum signals over here that was kind of showing okay, this is obviously getting a little bit weak. This isn't a very bullish signal. This is kind of more of a bearish divergence kind of showing up here. Same with the RSI. We actually had an RSI breakdown as well. The only thing is we didn't hit any overbought conditions. So that was kind of okay, maybe there might be a little bit more room, but as you can see, we are already breaking down. So now my next objective is I'm looking for the other side is 61.8 and 78.6 on the downside. So this is kind of this between these areas where I'm looking for pretty much the next major support levels, as well as considering maybe even taking off the short and looking at longs. I personally like the 88.6. This is considered a sniping level. It's not really meant for new people that are new to trading. It's actually usually for professionals as well as sharpshooters. And if you see here, it's actually the 88.6 is right against the candle body low of the previous structure here. So in my mind, I wouldn't be surprised if price does have to come back and retest this tail.
Damn.
Obviously you don't want to see that. And I'm not saying price will do that. You can see momentum just kind of trying to turn back up here on the MACD. And we are getting closer to oversold conditions. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we get just, maybe one more leg down and then maybe tag of the 61.8. And then we start kind of reversing. And generally, you want to see these W type structures, right? Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking for.
I'm gonna quickly show the liquidation heat map here.
Yeah,
because I think it's a very great way of seeing also where are the liquidations, where the liquidity lies, and you're absolutely right. They are anything on top of 64 at the moment. There's a lot of liquidity, and after 64, the next one is at 62 point something, 62.8. So yeah, there's a big gap. If we don't hold 64,000, we're gonna be dumping quite hard, and a lot of liquidations happening. From my point of view, also is that there was a lot of open interest, and usually when there's a lot of open interest, if you go back to your chart, we were testing the CPI on the CPI day, and we broke down. There's a lot of open interest now getting away, which is actually good. So we can start reloading again and seeing what the market will do. But
nice.
I do agree with you. June overall on both funding and trading is very slow. As we both have been doing venture, you can see that fundraising is very hard at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a very soft quarter. This quarter has been definitely rough. The last quarter was very bullish and very profitable, and it just seems like the last few months has been market's just been on pause. As you can see, the market's just been ranging back and forth and just not really doing much, right? So this is a weekly chart that I'm going to hide all those drawings so you can see a bit better. My only concern is you don't want to see price break below. Crap. Pretty much you don't want to see a break below here, 56K. That would confirm a massive double top, and that's a weekly top. I always consider weekly signals as some of the most powerful signals. They usually play out very well just because it takes 7 days to create one candle, and so if you can get an actual structure based on that, they're usually very accurate, I find. So for us, an easy way to tell the market is bullish again is you just look for a weekly W, right? So the last time we had a weekly W was way down here. See this little cute little W there?
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of the structure that we're looking for, right? They tried to do one here. They couldn't break out, unfortunately, but you had a weekly W here, and off we go. And so that's kind of one of the easiest tell signs that the market is ready to kind of flip again. So my only concern is I am watching this. I do not want to see price break below that, and hopefully this will turn back and kind of start carving out W's.
Got it. So what's your take on ETH?
Yeah, let me pull up ETH now. I thought ETH looked a lot better yesterday, but I think Asia just opened up like pretty nasty. Uh, so kind of the same concept, right? Like, we came back up against these like top of the range. We actually had a really clean like double bottom or double top here. So you could have shorted that M, and then just simple 2 to 1. Would be kind of risking all the way back to these tails here. And there's a pretty big gap. This is just one giant candle. So price is still trying to like rediscover like what is considered value here. So personally for me, same idea. I am looking for like 61.8, 70.6 as like the major support. And that's kind of where I'm looking for my next long. And I might probably even take off the short, once we hit these this range here. And then if you really want to be a snipe shooter, you can always try to risk these, candle body lows. But I personally don't really like to. I like to hit these like fib ranges, fib levels, as well as like, momentum is slowly turning. I do see like a potential MACD div coming in. We don't have oversold conditions yet, but, we are slowly kind of coming into that area as well. We don't have any structure here yet. This potentially could become a W. And if that's the case, then, that's kind of like the patterns that we want to be hitting, right? If that can come through, that's a very bullish signal. Then I can be like ready to like maybe take off the short. But until then, this might just keep, it might just keep going like, it might just keep falling down, right? So, I'm not going to be short. I'm not going to be long until I get to these ranges down here. And yeah,
I'm gonna jump.
And I guess like we have until July 2nd, I believe, before they start trading these ETH spot ETFs. So I think the market, like, the news came out a couple days ago, and that was kind of when we had that massive like sell-off in the alts and stuff. So like in my mind, I think like that might have been like, the final capitulation, hopefully. Just so they're like, kind of like front running the ETF news essentially. But yeah, I mean, we still have like, 12 days away or something like that. And then personally, based on seasonality, we're not expecting till July to be quite bullish anyways, right? So all of these things are kind of like lining up for July. So I think like what the market's just trying to do is wash out weak hands right now, reset the market, reset the charts, and then we can start, looking for double bottoms, divergences, location, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think on the Ethereum side, first of all, the ETF news are very positive. So that's a good thing. And second of all, the SEC news that came yesterday that they're going to drop the investigations against Ethereum.
Right. That was a very big news. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like something that people don't understand, especially when we're talking about security laws in the United States. They actually affect the market pretty much. And especially with big investors, they do look at these things. And we were gonna, like, remember when ETH was gonna, in March, bypass 4,000? If you go back to your chart, one sec. And if we go to March, we were trying to top up the 4K. But then the news broke down that, hey, SEC is investigating ETH, and there was a massive breakdown of everything. I think now it's a totally different thing. I think now Ethereum has a possibility to actually break the all-time highs. And another thing, let me find it. I think overall I'm starting to be bullish again on ETH. And this one, so this is a pretty good graph. Like this is showing how Bitcoin was performing during ETFs. This is like what happened when they launched, what happened 1 month after, and then 3 months and 5 months after. I see something similar happening with ETH. I think we're going to be breaking all-time high once we go live with Ethereum ETF. It's going to be probably sell the news event first, and then we're going to start reloading and going higher. But yeah, this is at least my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree on some of those points for sure. I honestly don't know what to expect. The market can do whatever the hell it wants to do. So I try not to predict too far ahead. But I do like how the news and everything is lining up for this like kind of this more bullish outlook. Yeah, like I personally think ETH might actually even lead Bitcoin, right? Especially once the ETF comes live and whatnot.
Okay. Anyway, some other news I want to show. I usually show ETF flows almost every day because I think
Nice.
they're a very good indicator of what's happening. So on the last, let's go here. There we go. ETF flows this month have been very negative. So if we go back 1 month, we were almost every day positive. This month, we are now almost every day for the past 1 week or so negative.
Damn.
Um, yeah, this is not good. This is not great.
Yeah.
Even Katie's fund arc has been losing clients, but of course, the biggest Grayscale is still dumping. Um, but remember, Grayscale started with like 550,000 BTC, and I think they're now under 275,000, which is a kind of big thing.
Yeah. No
But
kidding.
yeah,
I mean, I guess they're just taking profits, if anything, right? Like they were all loading up much earlier, so I
yeah,
mean, it does kind of make sense. The whole sell in May, walk away. Summer markets are typically like pretty choppy, so it makes sense that institutions aren't really like loading up right now. They would rather just kind of wait. I would imagine. So yeah.
there's also this the long-term BTC wells sold more than 1.2 billion worth of BTC in the past 2 weeks. Um,
Damn.
yeah, that's a lot. But I know from for sure that some of these are miners. They're
Mhm.
basically hedging and taking some cash because it's a very cash. Uh, Basically, when you mine BTC, you need a lot of cash because you have a lot of expenses. There's you
Mhm.
need to sometimes sell a little bit to get bypass the next month. I've been seeing more and more on the OTC side, bigger BTC deals, which is kind of astonishing. I didn't see them before, but now they're becoming a normal thing. So I think
Yeah.
this is also because of that. People are just hedging their profits. They see what's happening in the macro uh, events. They see what's happening in the normal financial situations.
Yeah.
So good time to hedge.
Yeah, I mean, why not take profits? The markets are near all-time high still, and if you've been accumulating in the last couple of years, like, why not? I
Yeah.
think it's healthy, and I think it's definitely normal to be selling a bit. These prices aren't too bad, so
Yeah. But yeah, if you go to the total market cap
yeah,
excluding BTC, I'm showing my screen at the moment.
actually looks
I
pretty
think
good. I like that chart. I'm not gonna lie.
it's very basic. But for me, I'm the same. I usually trade on Trading, but I think it's a very good indicator of what's happening with the alts. Like we've been
Mhm.
seeing alts just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, and I
Yeah.
don't think we're seeing a bull run before we basically break this major resistance. And
Yeah.
I think we're still going to go downwards. What do you think?
I mean, definitely when I look at that chart, when you look on the daily, you can see the potential like double tops, almost like triple tops forming, right? You
Yeah,
don't want to see those lows being broken because that would signify like quite a bit of a sell-off. It's weird. The alts have not been performing as well as they used to. Like, back in the days when Bitcoin and Ethereum would range, especially like how it's been ranging the last few months, the altcoins typically would have quite a bit of a seasonal rally, right? But for some reason, this cycle, it seems like it's just been like dumping harder and harder, going through the chop, and not really like cooperating like it used to. So definitely sucks that a lot of the alts are getting pretty much killed here. And you look at that, that's like a double top, almost like a triple top being formed here, you know. But at the same time, like a lot of these alts are just coming back into levels, like actual like levels that you would want to be start hunting, right? Because you don't want to be buying stuff way up here. You want to be buying stuff that's buy low, sell high, right? So what
no,
I think is
absolutely.
so what I think is happening is they're just resetting the market and they're getting ready for the next leg up. And before institutions, buy and push markets, they have to be in. And usually they don't buy up markets, right? So I think that's all what we're seeing right now. It's just like a little bit of a washout. I'm starting to see, potential setups forming on some of these alts. Not quite fully ready yet, but I feel like some of them are starting to shape up. So like I said, I do believe that July will be a much more bullish month for us, but I don't have a crystal ball. We'll see what happens.
Like we all.
Yeah.
All right. On another news, I hate covering memes, but next one, Trump coin. So Trump coin has been having a lot of drama. People who don't know about Trump coin, it was supposed to be done by Trump's son, Barron, and it's been a lot of back and forth. Like, is this actually backed by Trump? Is it backed by Barron? What's happening here? And one major person that have been involved is Martin Shkreli. Martin is very famous for his pharmacy dump back in the days. So he was trading a lot of different pharmacy stocks, and he basically bought a pharmacy company and put one of the medicines that is major for, I can't even remember, like
Diabetes,
what.
I think. I think it was for
Yeah,
diabetes.
diabetes. Yeah, went from $10 to $700, and basically what happened was he eventually ended up in jail. But now he is very prominent in crypto, and he's been helping Barron. But there's been a lot of back and forth with Trump coin saying like, "Hey, is this actually backed by Trump or not?" And almost all big VCs, influencers have been involved and tried to debunk it. And even there's been going on major bets, major $1 million bets that if this coin is actually backed by Trump or not.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday he held like a few different Twitter spaces. It was like all day long, super funny, like lots of trolls, just a lot of like, yeah, like, it was very uncertain, like what is true, just because like, you know, anytime anybody asks like, is there proof, can you show us, you know, he would just divert the question and be like, you don't have, like, I don't have to show you shit.
Yeah.
But and then like, you know, the whole $100 million bet with GCR, you know, GCR didn't even show up to the space, didn't even like answer him. So there was a lot of this like back and forth, like shit talking and whatnot. But then I wake up this morning and I see this like this new post, and it looks like it's legit now. It looks like Barron actually has a part in it. So kind of interesting development. Obviously, like I haven't really been charting it necessarily myself. But I don't know. Maybe we should pull it up on desk screen and see kind of like how it looks.
Yeah, I just want to say on these influencer coins, I think we're seeing them more and more. I don't see them as a positive thing for cryptocurrency. It's going to be more on pump and dumps.
Yeah.
But of course, if there's a presidential candidate that is actually backing a coin, that's pretty major, to be honest.
Dude, especially with Trump, like Trump is the ultimate meme at the end of the day. And you know, he is extremely bullish on crypto, and I think the community is, you know, they appreciate that. So
Well, that daily chart doesn't look good.
no, I don't know if this is the right one. Is this the one? Like
yeah, I think this first one.
Yeah, okay. Damn, if that's the case, then that looks pretty nasty. Like there was another one. There was another one that was like out a lot earlier. I don't know if I have that chart. I think it's actually on the ETH network, but yeah, that chart looks horrendous. I wouldn't touch that like at all. I think no, this is not the one either. Shit.
It's so hard with these meme coins at the moment. There's so many copies. And
oh my God.
Just on that note, I don't know if you guys know, but there's more than, I think, 2 million tokens launched on Solana monthly now. That's crazy. Like,
so wild.
Yeah, this is not sustainable. And I think people that actually go to see fundamentals, they're going to be leveraging this market pretty well and understanding the meta. Like, for example, Trump coin is a meta play, you know? Like, you have to understand the degenerates, you have to understand the crypto degenerates, and you have to understand also the influencers, what they're playing. But yeah, you can actually make quite good money if you understand the meta and how to play these games.
Yeah, like it's weird because like, you know, typically like whenever you see like the memes blowing off, like that was always like your tell sign, like this is the end of the move, like the market's over, right? But this cycle, it seems like the meme cycle really took over the narrative, and it was very prolonged. And it kind of sucked because obviously a lot of the alts kind of got, you know, beat up, while these memes kept pumping. And a lot of the times these memes are just like insiding trading. They're just pump and dump groups. Like, you know, there's no real value in it except for the whole like speculation side of things, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
There's no
like what I
fundamental-
noticed, like what I noticed is like, you know, if you really want to be successful with memes, like you need to be in these like a lot of these like trading groups. You need to set up like bots, like, you know, Telegram bots or whatever, those sniping bots like Maestro and stuff like that. And just you got to be really early, like really early, and the earlier you are, the better. I noticed, and don't hold on for too long, and you know, make sure you take profits on the way up. So this is the other DJT token that I was looking at for a while. It's actually not Donald Trump token. I guess it's Save America. But you know, this chart looks a little bit better, obviously, in my opinion. You know, price is kind of near, you know, what I call the reload zone, 61.8 and 17.6. We had a massive bullish div here, but nothing really going on here. Momentum's kind of slowing down. Like, this is typically what you call like a Wyckoff check, right? You have this initial double bottom breakout, price comes back, tests the original breakout, and then we just kind of see if this is really a bull market. And so, you know, there's a little W here, market broke out, retested the breakout, and now we're kind of doing it all over again. You know, this is going to be like a little beta play, maybe perhaps on the whole DJT token itself. This has been around for, you know, a few months now, but I'm not much of a meme guy either. I don't really like trading memes too much. So, you know, but I don't mind charting them.
That's good. That's coming from a professional trader. But okay, guys, I think this is a good for the first episode. Please like and share our video. And thanks, Andrew. We will see Andrew later on, also probably next week or so. Let's see if this is going to be a normal thing for him.
But yeah, I do have one trade idea that I kind of like right now. You know, touching on the AI narrative. This is called OLAS. I personally, you know, you look at the chart, most people look at it and be like, ew, that's gross, it's dying. But for me, like, I look at this and I scream like, okay, sick, it's getting ready. And the main reason why is because I typically like, you know, hitting targets of 78.6 on the fibs. As well as you can see, there's a bullish MACD divergence that's confirmed and came in. We hit oversold conditions on the RSI, and you're starting to get W's coming in the indicator itself as well. And then the price, you know, it is missing a double bottom. There is a little bit of like a weird one. Like if you zoom in here, it's kind of like wonky, but it's not the best. Obviously, you know, they try to like take the W out with the tail here, but I personally like it because you know, I'm a 78.6 guy. We're also testing the original high and the breakout level of previous structure, and so my frame of risk is just, you know, about 15% to the downside. I'm looking to hit doubles. I usually sell halves on doubles, so I sell half, get my ROI out, and then let my free position run to, you know, infinity. So this is just one alpha play that I think is a decent trade that is starting to set up nicely, and yeah, thought I'd share it.
No, thanks for this. Obviously, this is not the financial advice, just sharing ideas.
Yes.
But okay, guys, thanks, Andrew, for having coming to the show.